Hello everyone. I'm sure by now many of you have heard about the unfortunate disaster surrounding Highguard. Simply put, the game failed to live up to the hype created by its announcement trailer at the Game Awards 2025. What was meant to be the next big indie success has instead become a cautionary tale of the live service era, so much so that people are already calling it Concord 2. From Jeff Keighley and his team's perspective, the game was given the closing slot of the show for free. That kind of placement usually signals something special. Expectations instantly shot up to AAA levels, and that's where the problems began. At launch, Highguard peaked at around 97,000 players, only to lose nearly 80% of them within the first 24 hours. That kind of drop doesn't happen by accident. So, what went wrong? And why did a team of industry veterans fail so spectacularly? The first major wound was marketing. Being the grand finale of the Game Awards set expectations sky high. When the studio leaned on the tagline from the creators of Titanfall, they invited comparisons simply couldn't meet. Fans expected a fast, fluid movement shooter. Instead, they got a complex PvP raid focus experience. That mismatch mattered. Things took a sharp turn when former Wildlight developer Josh Schoell publicly suggested that content creators and gamers slandered the game. And while harassment is never acceptable, blaming negative coverage ignores a key fact. Nearly 100,000 people actually played the game. They didn't leave because of YouTube videos, they left because they were not having fun. The live service market is ruthless. You are not just competing with other indie games, you are competing for attention and time against giants like Apex Legends, Valorant, and Marvel rivals. Highguard launched with a steep learning curve, server issues that locked players out of the tutorial, and multi-phase gameplay that failed to hook newcomers. The result? A mixed reception and 45% positive reviews on Steam. The real tragedy, though, is what followed. Just weeks after launch, most of the Wildlight team was laid off. Schoell later shared post claiming the game was described internally as lightning in a bottle. Shortly after receiving heavy backlash for blaming players and creators, he deleted his X account entirely. And that brings us to the core lesson. Being an indie studio does not grant immunity from criticism. Innovation requires listening to hard truth, especially through public testing, not just internal praise. When a studio falls into toxic positivity, this is the outcome. So, what do you think? Was Highguard slandered to death, or was it ultimately a victim of its own hubris? Let me know in the comments.